Hello and welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me in another of my wonderful interviews. I have been to Ledbury. You may have gone to Ledbury too. It's a lovely place down there in Gloucestershire, as far as I remember.
Herefordshire.
Herefordshire, just been told. Producer in the ear correcting me. It's a lovely place in Herefordshire. You may have been there yourself. This is going well to begin with, but who cares? I'm going back there on the 26th at the Barn, the Rebel HQ. And you can come too if you want. More of that later. I want today to talk to the proprietor or co-owner of the Barn, who is a rebel in and of himself, and is trying to get people to put away the conspiracy hats and bring people together. His name is Robin Oakey, and he joins me now. Hello, Robin.
Hi there, Richard. How you doing?
And
I've
you
got
are
Cyril here as well.
Oh, look at that. Hello, Cyril. How the devil are you?
Well, he's a star. He should have his own YouTube channel. He's a star, is Cyril.
Well,
Oh,
there's
he
nothing.
wants
There's
to have the
nothing to
word.
stop you setting it up. You say so. You're at the barn itself, which just describe what the
Yeah.
barn is for people, so that we get an idea of what it is and what you've
Well, the
turned it
barn.
into.
Yeah, the barn is a cafe, bar, arts gallery, music venue, comedy. Uh, it's an unusual, quirky place, totally non-corporate. Uh, 300 years old, maybe a bit longer, made of bits and pieces from the past. And I nailed it together about 4 years ago and saved it from collapsing, really. So it's a quirky, unusual venue in the heart of Ledbury, a market town in Herefordshire.
And you did have a bit of a battle with the council, which is, and
Oh,
you won
many. Oh,
many. Yeah.
many
But no,
battles with
but
the council.
this is encouraging because councils, as we know, are corporations. They're all part of the problem, and the independent factor or sector is what we should be much more promoting in my book, and I think you would obviously agree.
Oh yeah, that is really, really important to actually keep individual places, and it's becoming harder and harder for small businesses to exist with all the new rules, regulations, and everything that the corporates and the councils put on you. It's incredibly actually difficult to run a small venue like this or any small business. Uh, I do building work, and years ago we used to employ people. We don't employ people now. Everybody works for themselves. They either subcontract to us, and that's it, because we can't enforce. And it's pretty much the same in this business. We've got a bar. We pretty much run it as a hobby because uh, we can't afford to have permanent staff
Right.
with all the bits and
But
pieces that go with it. It's difficult.
you're fighting it. You're keeping it going. You're keeping it alive, and people are supporting you.
Oh yeah, yeah, we keep it alive. I mean, we have had complaints in the past because of music or doing things, having talks, and the council have put all sorts of regulations on us. They enforcement notices. We've had two enforcement notices on us, and we had to take the council to appeal on it. We won our appeal, but it's incredibly wearing. It took us
Mm.
years to do that and a lot of money, and it is very wearing and tiring on us when you have to go through this process.
Now you say that there's a lot of these restrictions on you. I know that because I've been there before and did some talk, and it went quite well. You have a little outdoor area. Am I all right
Yep.
to come and smoke
Yep.
my pipe?
Oh yeah, you can smoke your pipe. I'd be
Are
happy for
they?
you to come and smoke your pipe. Yeah, and many other people. Depends on what you put in your pipe. A few people
Yes.
might get upset or just get very calm about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's just purely tobacco, which I enjoy for my nerves, as they say.
Oh yeah.
But so you said at the beginning when we were talking before we started to record this interview that what you want to get away from is just the I suppose the limitation of the conspirators if that's what it is, the conspiratorial people, or the theorists of conspiratorialness coming together and trying to unite a bigger public, because I think we've got to that point now where you don't need to know there's an Agenda 21 or Agenda 30. You don't need to necessarily know they're spraying the skies. I think Keir Starmer, I hate to use the word Prime Minister because I'm not convinced he's actually said his oath or anything, but he's already helping to wake people up, isn't he? In the 1 month that he's been there, that we are under tyranny.
Yeah. Whether this is a plan to create civil war in this country, I don't know, because it is angering so many people. And the general public, who actually even voted Mr. Starmer in saying, oh, it's going to be better than the last lot, are like, oh, God, what have we done?
Yes.
And as I say, I think people are waking up to the fact that something's wrong.
Right.
It is getting, we're at the pinnacle of bullshit in the world. It's just getting to be too much for everybody. And there are one or two people who've got a lot of money, they've got a good job, and things are fine for them at the moment. But give it a little bit of time, see how it goes. But for everybody else, I think they're understanding something seriously wrong, and something should be done.
And so without necessarily having events on your barn and others like this, and I know that places like this are springing up now as more and more people are finding it difficult to have conversations in the sort of traditional art centres and village halls and theatres, that there are these sort of coffee stroke bar things setting up. We need to try and get more of the everyday people in, so that I suppose you can talk more generally about the problems of the day, rather than the more sort of edgy subjects of chemtrails, digital IDs, and things like that.
That's great. That can come along as well, and we can. My venue, people can come along and talk about absolutely anything they want, and it's great that people like John here, who's here at the moment, doesn't believe in certain things. He doesn't believe in chemtrails and the moon landings. He thought he was doing things for NASA and stuff, and he thinks, oh no, some of that is wrong, and he's not quite convinced. But he's open-minded enough to still come back and talk to flat earthers and people like that, and he'll accept their opinion and listen to it, and that's great. But not a lot of the people are like John. Yeah,
No.
they're really not. They get frightened by stuff like that.
Well, I mean, let's face it, there are so many things. The rabbit hole is a warren of completely weird and wacky ideas, and I dare say some of them are complete twaddle, just to confuse those people who like to put on the hard hats and the little lights and go down into the warrens. So being able to just have an open mind is surely the good way. And if places like the barn are able to facilitate those sort of conversations, that people can share not only what they know, but also they can ask questions. Well, is that really true? Like you say, John does. Rather than being a closed off club that, we only talk about the moon landings or JFK or whatever it is, and we all have to agree. It is good to have that much more open idea to these things.
Yeah, well, that is the whole thing, and we don't know. If we all knew, if we really knew what was out there, what was going on, we'd be so much better off. But I'm absolutely convinced. I don't think anybody really knows what's about. So we've got to keep an open mind, and I've been opened up to all sorts of things like sound baths. You think, oh, well, sound bath, what's all that about? A few years ago. Then you go and experience one. Then it's like, oh, that's interesting. And then that opens you up to other things. So keep an open mind on all sorts of things. You just do not know.
Yes.
So.
And remaining positive. That was a message I know that you wanted to to get over that somehow
Mm.
we need to stay more positive. I mean, certainly in my feed, if I go on my feed on YouTube and I happen to, if I'm looking at videos, the amount of fear mongering at the moment seems to be absolutely extreme, off the scale, and it's
Yeah.
very difficult then to remain positive because we're being bombarded not just by the mainstream media, but also by the alternative media.
Oh, well,
So
there is
how
that.
do we do it?
Well, the thing is, it's like, remember years ago when we had the sea thing that came about, that
Mm,
pandemic bit thing that we had.
yeah,
I had a group of people in my house, and we didn't. None of us believed what was going on. We all thought it was bullshit and propaganda. And most people were communicating with each other on Telegram, no, WhatsApp. And
right.
they said, oh, WhatsApp is now unsecure. Bill Gates has bought it, so we've got to get off Telegram, off WhatsApp, and move to this new thing called Telegram. And that got me thinking at the time. Well, where's Telegram come from? It just springs up here. This
Fills a
very
gap.
complex, complex app, and it's sort of global. You can communicate with each other. But what it was lots and lots of different little groups of people on Telegram, and you have to be invited to the groups of people. So
Mm,
what you've done is created loads of small groups of people, and the barn would be absolutely inundated with one group. Yeah, right at
yes,
the beginning. So,
yes,
because we would accommodate it, with the place would be filled up because everybody's got a common purpose, which was the virus that was going around, or whatever it was.
yeah,
And everybody had a common purpose. And over the years, uh, all those different groups have got smaller and smaller and smaller and divided. Because maybe one person in that group says, "Oh, Hitler was all right because the
this, and
Jewish,
this.
the Jews were
This
basically taking all the money." And then you would have a person who had a family who was
disagreed
on the
with that.
trains coming
Yeah.
away from the Holocaust.
So what you're saying is that at one point, thanks to the pandemic, there was a lot of people who were opposed to it or had an opinion on it or whatever, and could get together as a group. But now
A
that's
common
led
purpose.
a common purpose. That's led people down different rabbit holes, and these groups
Yep,
have become splinter groups and
yep,
split off, and that common purpose has been eroded,
yep.
and that may be a deliberate thing, or it may be just accidental. But we've got to get back. Is that what you're saying? To a common
Well,
purpose of
I think,
positivity?
yeah. Well, I think the whole social media internet thing is basically been run by people the psychologists who've actually engineered all this,
Right,
and we're being played.
right.
And lots of people in these groups now have either left them, disappeared because they've fallen out with each other, got smaller and smaller and smaller. And divide and conquer is the way that you uh, wreck a country. You divide and conquer, and that's what's happening. And it seems to be that way all the time.
Do you think then that one of the answers is to get back into the real world rather than being on these little groups, and
Yeah,
find and start up more hubs like you're doing?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they're making the hubs much more difficult to run and keep going. Even now, after 4 years of running this place. My partner's got problems with her family, being ill, and all sorts of issues. So we're not being able to open as much as we were before. So and also the things that the council did for us, blocking us off for 7 months and not giving us any compensation, and all the legal things which we have had to do to keep this place open.
Hmm.
And it's really,
It's.
really hard.
But do you
Really
think
hard.
that once you do get people together, that there is a bigger buzz and a bigger understanding, and people can communicate, and certainly more privately than on these social media
Oh,
platforms.
it's much better. You've experienced it yourself when you came to
Yes,
the barn and did your show. It was
yes.
great. The energy is phenomenal. And we've also had Ivor Cummings last week. It was absolutely brilliant. The energy here, people coming in. I think there was some people flew in from France to actually come to the barn.
That's
There were
amazing.
people from Ireland, there were people from London, Basingstoke, all over the country. They came to the barn.
And what does
And
that tell you then? I mean, it tells you there is a
oh,
demand
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
there is
to
a
be in the
massive
presence of
demand.
people.
Yeah, a massive demand. It's incredible. But I look on these Telegram groups, yeah, and I still contact the few that are involved with the barn, and they
Yeah,
show your videos. They show Ivor Cumming videos, right? Yet I I charged, I think, £10 for the actual evening, and that was so we could actually pay for Ivor to come from Ireland for this
yes,
special event. Yeah, so he had to pay for his accommodation, all his ferry, his uh, his wife and child to come over. We managed to put him up in my house, which actually kept the cost down, and he's got to live, and he's sending
yeah.
out the message, so therefore we give him the money for that. We get a little bit for the barn. We operated and did okay. We're not a big venue at all, so we're not making massive money out of this. We're just existing, really.
Mm.
And all I put it out to all the local groups in these Telegram groups, and I said, even you can actually come for free, and I'll put a speaker outside. If you don't want to pay, I'll put a speaker. But hardly any of those groups came. There were,
So is there apathy then at
yeah,
the moment?
yeah, apathy. I don't know whether it's apathy or, oh, well, we've seen Richard Bavobes on the YouTube, so we won't bother coming. We know about him. We know about all this stuff. But I actually wanted people to actually come together as a unit and show
Mm.
solidarity with, yeah, there's something wrong, just like in COVID. And it's absolutely bigger now than ever. Think the people who were leading the movement at the beginning are sort of like thinning out and drifting away, where they should be encouraging more people who are waking up to what's going on to join and gradually understand, okay, there may be other things that are maybe they are spraying the skies, which I believe they do. I've done a lot of research and know people who actually spraying the skies with chemicals, and and people are saying, oh no, that can't be. But uh,
Did,
yeah,
did
he's laughing in the background. When I've got a friend of mine who said, yeah, I know the pilots who are actually doing it
right, blimey.
and
Oh.
where they're working from. Yet my friends, I know who's funding them as well.
Well,
So
I mean, these are all the questions that obviously people want to know and answer. But do you think that we've been living with these problems and these questions now for quite some time? The
yeah,
big threat that you mentioned back in 2020 that we all saw, and then the so-called answer for it, which turns out to be not quite the answer that people were expecting,
yeah.
which roused a lot of interest and set up these groups, or was the impetus to get these groups going. Are we now seeing that, as you say, people are dropping off because, yeah, we've seen Richard, he spouts the same old stuff, he has the
Yeah.
same type of guests on and all that. Why should we come? Because there's nothing new. Do we need to have a bigger threat so that we have either new speakers or the same people who've got more information?
Uh,
What brings people together
right.
more?
Well, they come together uh, if there's a. They come together if there's an issue. Yeah. If there's a
Yeah.
problem, everybody will come together and they'll start talking about it, and then they'll Oh, it eases off, and the summer comes along, and there's a party going here, and there's a little festival going, and well, maybe we go to a Truthers festival, or even just a music festival, or a classic car thing. There's so many distractions
Yes.
that we've got, which was pretty much the same in all dying civilizations, like the Roman Empire. All these distractions around you, and everybody's lives have been taken up with other things. You know, there's always the barn's been really good because at least we've still got cores of people, and people keep on coming back here, keep on coming back. They see this place as a home. But
What
honestly, a lot of them at some stage, if things don't change, if I don't get more people here and more people
mm,
to support us, I'm going
so
to have to close this place and sell it.
what can people like me who get asked to turn up at events do to help bring in people in terms of what we do when we come on and appear on the stage? I mean, I'm in a strange situation. I've never claimed to be knowledgeable about anything
Mm,
because I've just popped up on YouTube and it seems to have gone quite well interviewing people, and then I have a few of my own thoughts which I do as my monologues. But if people have seen us, we've said what we say what we know,
mhm.
and there's nothing, say, new happening. I mean, we've heard about the potential of monkeypox and bird
Yeah.
flu. There's these wars going on, and is it nuclear? Is it not? All these sort of things. Now we've got Keir Starmer to have a moan about, and whether or not we're allowed to smoke
Yeah.
outdoors or where it's going.
Be
But
careful. That
what
was indoors then. You be careful.
I'm all right to do it in my own house. Thanks very much.
Not
But
not
what
not for
what can?
long.
Yeah, well, they'll have to come and take my pipe collection away. But what can people like me and other people, performers or speakers, people who, what can they do that would help you promote the event to get more people interested?
What I like the great thing is most of the people on YouTube know you've heard all the stuff. You've gone down the spiritual route. Every subject you've covered. Now, the great thing about you is that you've also got a past with the history of old towns and buildings and canals and all those sort of things. Well, that's great. Now, what you do is you bring people in. You're an entertainer. You were very funny on that night, and unlike people were laughing at you just a bit.
Good.
Remember the David Icke thing? Yeah, with Rogan. No,
Oh,
people were laughing at you, and also you were telling the truth as well.
yes.
Now, there's an interesting thing where you got David Icke, um, where he said, people are just laughing at you.
So
Well,
do
they
you
did.
need? Yes. So do I mean, I'm not particularly worried about myself, but do people like Ivor Cummings and other speakers who have a very set message
Mm,
need to do something else to encourage? Because
mm,
if we can't get people out
yeah,
to the venues and they've seen it all on YouTube and all the other
yeah.
platforms, how do we instill that open-mindedness and introduce new people to the subjects where we're pushing back or questioning what's going on?
Yeah, I think this is a time when people really need to come together and have a positive solutions to
Right.
what we're going through, and instead of just talking about and it's all misery and doom and gloom, we've got to have a positive thing. Now, you have lots of spiritual people on your show, and I was watching a lady the other day, and it's all about your intentions, what you intend, yeah? And your
Mm.
words make things happen and your thoughts make things happen. But the majority of people in this country, in the world at the moment, and even the groups of people, the conspiracy theorists, right? Us lot, the words I hear from them is, well, what can you do about it? And it's like, what? And that gets back to the David Icke thing years ago when he said, if we all just said no. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got to get rid of that. What can you do about it? And instill in everybody's minds, we need to do something about this, and we will do something about it. And if you've got that intent, yeah, uh, it will happen. I was given an old a diesel generator the other day. It's 10 years old. It hadn't been used for years, right? In a lockup. They said, "Oh, it's brand new, never been used. Have that." So I take it. We try and start it up, and in the diesel, there was this biodiesel they put in it, and it gets an algae, this horrible algae in the diesel. So I tried to start it up, and the whole thing just shut down immediately. Yeah, and I take the filters off it, and it's full of gunk, absolutely wrecked because no, it hadn't been used. So this perfectly bit of kit had actually been destroyed by leaving it. Now it's about the same as what we've got. We've got a great planet, a great place, and we're just neglecting it. And this cancerous stuff is just building up and building up all the time. And it's going to destroy what we've got. Yeah.
Yes.
And the whole system that is working against us will just destroy everything. But with a bit of determination, I thought, right, we're going to strip this thing down. I got covered in diesel, ripped it all apart, cleaned it all out, and with a few friends, a bit of knowledge from somebody else, we all got together and we got this thing working, and it's again. We made it happen, and
So
it's
what?
only through determination.
I was just going to say, so somehow or other we need to instill that determination, that plucky spirit to say we're not
Yeah.
giving up. We've got to, I mean,
If
I
I'd
made
have
a video
said,
the other day, exactly that. We
if I'd
mustn't
have
give
said,
up.
oh, it's got this stuff in it. Oh, what's the point? Oh, we'll just put it in a sale and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. But it's a perfect bit of kit.
Sure.
Absolutely
Absolutely.
brilliant.
And so, but you are, no disrespect, of a certain age, as I am of a certain age, in which we come from probably parents of an even certainer age,
Yeah.
who are brought up on that thing about make amend, respecting things
Yeah.
should last a lot longer. The younger generation who are sort of inheriting this planet are being trained left, right, and centre to throw things away. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been part of that generation ourselves. Um, and it's only, I suppose, as you get a bit older that you think, hang on, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? How do we get those younger people? I mean, it's the same question. How do we motivate those younger people to be more determined to say, I'm not putting up with this. This isn't right. I'm not putting up with it. And I will say no. I won't consent. I'm going to push back. How do we do that?
I don't know that there are kids out there. There really are kids out there who are awake, but I've got to say the schools and the colleges are doing a bloody good job of actually indoctrinating lots of people into oh
Do we
oh
need you mentioned before there that the fact that it was quite a funny evening when I came in. Comedy does seem to be a way of cutting through
yeah.
different left and right. If it's genuinely funny, and you can
Oh,
get a
you got
message
Abby
whether
Roberts
people are
here.
good, and and comedy does seem to be a good way. It's and we've seen how comedy, anybody on the right is not getting an opportunity to speak. But as you say, you've had Abby Roberts here. Um, if there were more slightly light-hearted approaches in the way that I take the approach on the evening, do you think that would help if it's not blatantly in your face, oh, look at the chemtrails, we're all going to die, more of,
Yeah.
do you think people should use more comedy to get the message across?
Oh, that does help. Yeah, of course it does help because we have had Bob Moran turn up one evening, and he'd got a few of his posters and artwork, and we put them up. And it was at the time of the elections, so we're going a new town square sort of thing built in front of the barn, and I put up quite a few of Bob Moran's posters, and they were absolutely ripping it out of every political ideology. You know, the Green Party. So you got the man with the electric bike, and the electric bike has got a load of pylons, and it goes back to a power station and some nuclear rods, and it shows you the hypocrisy of that. And then you've got the two cheeks of the same arse, and a voting ballot, and all those posters and bits of artwork that he's doing. He's doing incredibly well. His artwork, he's doing better now than when he was working for the newspapers.
Well, fantastic. That's so encouraging, isn't it? And I think people do need that light relief. They need that, and the sense that people can still have a voice, which we're seeing shut down. If you mention freedom of speech and stuff, you get shut down very quickly.
Yeah, and I leave those posters up around the place, and yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right there, mate. And when you find people who see those sort of things, they're on the right path.
Yes.
And
I mean, if it resonates with you, if it resonates, it's going to tell you there's something in it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That one.
So that was. I couldn't see that.
Hang on. See if we can get steady. Yeah, put it on. It's gone blank.
Gone blank.
Oh, John, he's my tech support guy. He's
right. All I can see is.
Anyway, there you go.
Battery saving.
Down a bit. Put it up a bit. There we go. Yes.
Yeah. And anyway, people.
Nice technical stuff.
Yeah.
So listen. I need to draw this to an end.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm coming on the 26th of September.
Don't come in October.
Month. No, don't come in October.
You can if you want. It's my birthday party, and you can come.
Oh, is it? Oh, lovely. There we are. What do people need to do if by chance they want to come along and see me? But if they, what would they need to do? And have you got any other events coming on that you want to publicise?
I've got Abby Roberts coming up for 2 nights as well. I would like more people, more speakers, but it's got to be positive. We've got to get away from the negative stuff in it. I would like your viewers and people who are viewing to come up with more positive solutions, and get together. That is the most important thing, because
raise their vibrations and
their vibration. Exactly. Right. It's this negativity within our groups. What can you do about it? Oh, we've talked about it. We've woken people up to it. But, it's failing. We're in a... No, it isn't. If you think down that route, and there were loads of people right at the beginning, I'm not going to mix with normies because they are shedders. It's like, oh, dear, this sort of stuff which we get.
I only mix with pipe smokers now.
Yeah, well, actually, the nicotine.
It's a very small club.
The nicotine's supposed to be good for you, isn't it?
So they say.
Kills the COVID. You won't be sneezing this year with that pipe on you. Might cough a bit, but
have you got a website? Have you got a website that people can find out more about the venue and what's going on?
No, the barn at Ledbury. We got a Facebook thing, but
the barn at Ledbury in Herefordshire.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
say Gloucestershire. I got
that wrong. It's in the 3 counties. We're right in the middle. So
there we go.
We have music every Saturday. We're going to try and open a bit more. I've got another couple of girls who are interested in doing the cafe. We need some more support to actually keep this place running, really.
Well, let's hope some viewers in your area have seen this and can get in touch. And so there we are, the barn at Ledbury. You're easy to find. You're just off the high street at the back a little bit next to, is it the big library or something?
Yeah, the St Catherine's car park,
St Catherine's car park, Ledbury. The barn, ancient building, not so ancient people inside, trying to make a good stand. Robin, thank you so much for talking to us. Been an absolute joy. Looking forward to seeing you on the 26th, if anybody wants to come. Do they just pay at the door?
It'd be good if they can actually, maybe what we'll do is I'll put it out.
Send me, if do you do an event link type thing?
I will do that. And basically,
send me the link and I'll shove it in.
Yeah, I would do that. People actually directly text me. I don't do this. I
Right.
hate all the corporate things like these ticket links and things like
Okay.
that.
So do you
Pay
want
at
me
the
to
door.
pay at the door? Yeah.
If you can't
Brilliant.
get in, look, we're going to put a speaker up outside and a video screen, and everybody outside can actually look at you and hear you from the outside.
Well,
And
let's
that,
hope it's not teeming with rain.
yeah, well,
Robin,
put a cover over.
thank you so much. It's been a joy to talk to you.
Okay.
We'll catch up soon. There we
See
are,
you, mate.
ladies.
Cheerio.
Take care. That
Look
was
after
Robin.
yourself.
Thank you. That's Robin. I will be back with more wonderful guests and more monologues
See
in the
you on
future.
the,
Until next
on the
time.
next video.
Goodbye.